Did anybody in this class dress like one of the Inside Out characters today? Stand up if you're dressed like this character and show me what emotion this is. Okay, Sadness, sit down. Stand up if you're wearing this character's color and act out this emotion for me. Yep, Kenyon, show me what this emotion is. You look like you're wearing the angry color. Show me angry. Okay. All right, stand up if you like this character. Show me joy. Okay, stand up if you like this character. Anybody wearing this color? This, go. Disgust. And stand up if you like this. Yeah, I see lots of fear. Show me really, yeah. Oh, good acting. Okay, let's sit down. I learned, this is something really fun that I learned about these characters. I learned that not only did they have a color, but these characters all, when the artists and the animators were drawing these characters, they gave them each a shape. So they made Disgust, actually her body and her head are shaped like a spear of broccoli. And I learned that Fear is shaped all tall and skinny like a frightened little nerve. Okay, what do you know, Sydney?
Joy is a star.
Joy is shaped like a star. Do you know what Sadness is shaped like? A teardrop. And anger is shaped like a brick. He's shaped like a brick. Okay. What are some other fun things I learned? Oh my gosh. Right up here you can see that I have a picture of the room where the animators would have to come in and present all of their ideas to the directors and producers of the play. They called this their war room. And they would come in and show their pictures that they'd drawn and share their ideas, and they would tell them what they liked and tell them what they didn't like and work out all the details, and they called that their war room. There were, get this, 45 animators, 45 artists working on drawing the picture. And there were probably like 15 or 20 producers and directors also working on the movie. Even with all those people, like 60 people working full-time on the movie, every week, it would take all 60 of them a whole week to finish 3 seconds of the movie. Is that kind of, wow, making an animated movie is really a lot of work, okay? I learned, do you remember how Anger, in headquarters, Anger was always reading the newspaper while he waited for Riley to feel something? If the next time you watch the movie, if you look really closely at the newspapers, you'll see that the headlines of the newspapers are all about Riley. Things like, Riley quits soccer, or no dessert, or things like that. They're all about it. Did you know that the movie makers, before they decided on these 5 emotions, they considered a lot of other emotions that they were thinking about putting in the movie? They considered having an emotion named love. They considered putting in an emotion named hope. That would have been a fun one. They actually worked for a while on one named Surprise. And Surprise, they even drew Surprise and worked with Surprise's voice. They had so that Surprise, every time anybody talked, Surprise would jump and yell, "Bah!" But then they decided just to make Surprise part of Fear's character. The personalities of the emotions were inspired by Snow White's 7 dwarfs. They used their personalities. This is a fun thing. Listen for this when you watch the movie. When Riley's dream turned into a nightmare, the music that you hear playing will be the music from Disneyland's Haunted Mansion ride. That was fun. This is the coolest thing. They invented a brand new computer technology to make the character's skin have an inner glow. And it was so difficult and so time-consuming. At first they were only going to use that technology on Joy's skin texture. but the directors and producers liked the way it looked so much that they told them to use it on all of the characters. So all of the characters have like this inner glow, but it was so time consuming to make all of their skin glow like that, that it was really expensive. And it almost broke the movie's budget, but they still wanted it, so they had them do it. This is a fun thing. The camera, whenever Riley gets upset, if you look really close, you'll notice that the camera kind of goes out of focus whenever Riley gets upset. And they use different colors for Minnesota and for San Francisco to show how Riley feels about it. In Minnesota, where she was happy, the colors are all bright and pastel and full of light. And in Minnesota, the colors are all kind of dark and muted and dull because she wasn't as happy there. One last thing.
And the house was all dirty and gross, and there's lots of things that were really dark.
That to show how Riley was feeling. After they made the movie, the filmmakers said, after they worked on the movie, that whenever they feel feelings now, they think of their feelings as the characters. And that even happened for their children. Like one of the director's sons was about 7 and he was taking swimming lessons and he was too afraid to jump off the diving board. But after he went to see the movie, the next time they went swimming, he just went right out there and jumped off the diving board. And his dad asked him what happened and he said, well, I just thought of that emotion was fear, and the fear was standing in the way, and I just told him to step aside, and he went and jumped off the diving board. So I think Inside Out is going to be really fun to add to our movie. Let's learn something about our voices today. Everybody say the word dictation.